Oh, back again with another update for you. Now, we talked about some targets. I told you where NASDAQ should be going. And we talked about why. However, we reached our gap. We reached our target. And same thing as yesterday, like I said for this week, right? We are trading a very, very long range week. That means, however I'm defining it, right? Whether it's per session or per day and on the whole week itself, right? It's a longer range day. Now, as somebody like me who smokes way too much weed, right? I gotta make sure I stay organized, right? So that means, and you know me, I'm like the productive stoner, so I can't help but to smoke the weed and see everything I need to see. Um, Not to say it like that, but where did I tell you this was going? About the gap. Again, monthly chart. Look at this candle, bro. Not just because I told you, but I'm sure you expected it too, right? So when you get to a point where you're like, hey, you know what? If the very top of that gap was the target, right? We're talking about the current week, okay? It's only Tuesday. But do you remember our conversation? That, like, listen, if this is our actual draw of liquidity, our real DOL is down here. They're going to prioritize that. That's why they got there this early in the week. Get what I mean? And like we said, as for what's open, right? So we're going to keep this locked. As for what's open up here, right? We talked about the Monday. Yeah. Today's the 28th. And again, I know I talk a lot about Asia versus New York versus the information that I have for London and PM, right? So especially like when you come into mentorship, our first thing is to figure out like when you're actually available. Okay. Because I don't want you to think that it's always going to be just about like Asia only or London only, or it's not that sort of thing. Like we talked before, and just to speed run this, right? Again, just being on top of your cycles, okay? Like if you have no idea what cycle you're trading, this is going to be quite hard for you. Okay. Now, Hannah Montana, once you get to a point where you're not freaking out about like, again, the objective. All right. Like we said, knowing where the fuck we gotta go is like half the battle. So at that point, like I understand where like, I talk a lot about video games, but like the reason why my hand-eye coordination is the way it is because I sit here and play video games all damn day. And I've been playing them all my life, right? And again, I'm just like a 35-year-old kid, bro. I just do nothing in my free time except like uh just fulfill that all the little stuff that like my inner child never really had. And I'm realizing that now. Anyway, it's to the point where like I totally get where that conversation comes in before, like how we always talk about. You need to be a better narrator. You know what I mean? It's not just about where is the entry every 10 seconds. It's also asking yourself, like, okay, you know what? I know where the fuck we gotta go. What am I looking for to actually get me the fuck down there? You get what I'm trying to say? Now, to make this very general, right? Want to keep it very simple for you in this video. It's not me just like keeping it simple to annoy you, but I want you to get to a point where, like, again, trading is it's not hard. Okay, you got to get out of your mind. This is like, oh, it's the hardest thing I've ever done. It's really not. I guarantee you, you've done hard shit. Okay, you're just not used to thinking or reframing how to trade or how to be consistent in a format that actually makes you comfortable. You're still thinking probably that you need to trade from a consolidation base or that you're trying to go early and trying to justify that without function or real reason, right? Now, this is the thing, right? So again, we're trying to get down here. Monday set the tone for again the order flow. Now, when you wake up this morning, understand, right? You have nothing but north side liquidity above, right? So we're going to keep that in yellow. That's fine. We also had south side liquidity down here as well. Okay. We're going to keep these a different color. All right. I don't even know what's going to use that one. That's fine. But this is what I'm trying to say, right? You're going to get to a point where you're not freaking out about the idea of objectives. Like, I totally get where there was buy side liquidity available, there was sell side available. And I know you're going to freak out every time you see a 1 minute or a 5 minute candle that is, I mean, halfway um, decent. You're going to overly think your plan or abandon your plan. You need to not abandon the motherfucking plan. Not to say it like that, but the real reason why a lot of people who trade ICT or even like gold back levels, right, and feel that they're not consistent is because you're like forgetting that this is an algorithm. Like, you get what I'm trying to say? Like, it's fully set up for liquidity. Like, y- they're not going to go down there without a reason. Okay. So, yes, that monthly gap is what we're trying to get to overall. So that means you're not going to take no buys. You know this. So when they're setting up all this random liquidity up here, and when they're actually aggressive to the downside, right? This is 930. Okay. And this happened to a few people, and I'm glad that we talked about it. Now, those who have already like planned this out, seen what's going on, yeah, this was easy monies, right? Easy monies. And again, same way we talked about it before, not misunderstanding the objective. So if you are somebody who, again, want to feel more comfortable, yes, wait for a clear gap. Wait for that displacement all the way. If you are scared to try it at 931, I understand your perspective. I'll teach you how to trade that better. But if you're somebody who needs that full context, wait for a PD array. They'll make you a new one if you're not already inside of one, you know? Now, it's the thing, right? You already understand the target. So you're not going to freak the F out at all. Now, you probably also did a great job of getting yourself from point A to point B. Proud of you. Very proud of you. Now, what I also need you to realize, right? Something happened that you didn't expect, right? Not only did we impact our gap, right? You freaked out and you closed it immediately, didn't you? That's when I like the blunt. But first, a word from our water bottle. I do my best to stay hydrated, man. The weather's a little better now. I mean, I'm back on the East Coast at the dude. When I tell you, like, the weather's been so bad, like all over from like bursts and that. It fucked up a bunch of plans I wanted to do, but that's okay. Only because the weather's a lot more tolerable. Like, it's not 100 degrees every day how it was for like literally almost a month straight. It was insane. And we're talking like Philadelphia, like the tri-state, like you know what I mean? Like having like fucked up weather like that. Anyway, if you need that clean array, like I said, now me, I'm really used to again just using that liquidity, right? So already knowing where we got to go down here, I'm just waiting for that reaction. You get what I'm saying? Whether I'm seeing it from a 1, 3, or 5 minute perspective, it's all going to lead me to the same road. You know what I mean? I'm really just looking for that aggressiveness right down. So press button, literally go light the blunt, put the movie on, and wait for you to hit targets. But don't close on impact. Just leave the runner. I say this all the time. Just leave the runner. Because at that point, we've already planned out where to go. So like the rest of this just becomes extra. But you closing that, how much extra are you missing? That's another 900 plus ticks that you're missing out just by closing from fear. Don't do that. And I understand. You're thinking like, no, 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 I'm in danger. I'm in danger. No, you're not. Like I understand. Yes, we had liquidity, right? And like we said, we're talking about how we had sell side objectives and how we had buy side objectives, right? But at the same time, I know you're worried that right here he's going to dart right back to the highs. That's not how this works, okay? Do you see how until we got the buy move, right? They stop for a moment. Like they're actually going to chill for a second and then go. It's not always a speedy machine. And again, I'm showing you this on a 5 minute chart, which is a really long perspective for this. So when we're really seeing how long this really took in reality, right? That's not the yeah. In reality, right? So when we stopped at the very bottom down here, all this consolidation is whatever, right? But I'm talking like from the very bottom down here, this leg. I mean, bro, this is like 40 plus minutes. You get what I'm saying? It's like 35, 40 minutes. Is that a long time? My point is, how long are you going to take to realize what this is? Let's dive in, right? So, as we're on the 5 minute chart, we saw how, yes, again, we had buys and sells in terms of liquidity operated on the screen, right? Here and all this here. Now, you're wondering at 9:30, damn, I don't know if we're going to go up. I don't know if we're going to go down. But like we said, you're going to get to a point where, and again, if you know, you know. Yeah, there's a reason why we stopped there. If you remember why I talked about this yellow line, you'll understand that. Not going into full detail. However, outside of that, okay, we have buy and sell side liquidity. So we talked about the objective, right? You see how the objective was prioritized. They handled this at what time? They smashed this gap by literally 9:30 in the morning, brother. Like 9:35. They smashed it, right? Yeah. That's the thing, right? Now, if you're thinking about this, since this was the real target, right? The target is now completed. So they're just showing you what's going on in order. That's all they're doing. Okay. So once they take these out and we catch this easy as, and again, you read the title of the video, Damn, how are we catching thousands of ticks per trade? How are we doing this? It's understanding where the fuck we gotta go, brother. You get what I'm trying to say? It's not actually that hard, especially in this quarter. Because, like we said, Q3, yeah, you got bigger ranges. They don't always mean cleaner ranges, but sometimes they can be amazing, just like yesterday and today. Now, it's on you. If you haven't gotten to the point where, like, you can actually separate your narration from participation, you should probably join mentorship. However, when we also talk about like this area here, right? If this is the only area of liquidity left on the screen, right? What time is this down here? We got here, like I said, by 9:35. There is always an optimal trade entry every single day. There's never not a day where that's not offered to you. Okay. That being said, what happened here, brother man? Clear turtle soup. Inside of what? A monthly fair value gap, leading you into where? Buy side liquidity. Leading you into where? Buy side liquidity. So your optimal trade entry, and again, look at the time, right? So as we talk about that 10 a.m. to 11 o'clock window, what do you see, brother? Turtle soup reaction. Now, like we said, we know where it stopped, and we know when it stopped. Being amazing at trading is not hard, bro. What I need you to do, and again, I told you a couple of days ago, it's a long range week. That's why you're getting all these videos back to back, because we were talking about this topic across your free mentorship. However, the Discord and my mentorship get all the core details, and they have all the core mechanics as to why things are happening. But like I said, you're understanding what I mean by long range. So when we're talking about from the very top here, and again, I didn't catch from the very top. Again, from that 9:30 area, right? Just about 1,400 ticks on that one. Then right on your up move, you get what I mean? Right as we notice, this is a optimal trade entry, right? And this is coming in for me personally. See, I run the 1 minute. I don't like to trade choppy things. So if that's not the perspective I want, I will simply go up a time frame. So this looks a lot better, doesn't it, brother? Yeah. So when we're buying things at 10:30 and 10:40, dog, yes, we already have the target. All you got to do at that point is wait for confirmation. But you have to not do this thing where buying and selling are completely equal at like all times of the day. No, you got to get better at narrating and understanding why you're doing something. Okay. So, like I said, us catching thousands of ticks per day, and I understand you're coming from probably a another scenario where you're still thinking it's just the 2022 model. You're still thinking it's just about the macros. You're still thinking it's just about 950 to 1010 instead of, oh, damn, fuck, 930 was amazing. It depends on how you want to narrate and how you feel comfortable trading. So if you don't understand the narrative, well, that means you come to me and we will talk about how to get you better at. But in terms of like pressing the button, you need to be like not freaking out when this shit's this easy. You get what I'm trying to say? Like that down move toward the gap is the easy part. I understand if it took you a little bit longer to realize what your OTE was, but that down move was so easy, man. The bulk of your money should have been made, and you should have had a great, great day. And we're here every day. Fucking up NASDAQ, fucking up gold. We are here. So I'll see you guys on the next one.